Imagine the ability to see beyond the horizon, to perceive events thousands of miles away, with nothing but the power of your mind. Welcome to the world of remote viewing. This fascinating concept, teetering on the edge of science and the supernatural, has long captivated the minds of skeptics and believers alike. Remote viewing, as it is understood today, is the practice of seeking impressions about a distant or unseen target through extrasensory perception, often referred to as an ESP. The implications of such an ability are vast and varied, stirring a blend of both skepticism and intrigue. Could it be used for espionage, or perhaps to unlock ancient mysteries? Or is it merely a product of overactive imaginations? Debates aside, the concept of remote viewing has secured its place in the annals of the unexplained. In the next few minutes, we will journey through time to uncover the enigmatic history of remote viewing. The roots of remote viewing can be traced back to the ancient shamanistic practices, where seers claim to have the ability to see beyond the physical realm. Indeed, the concept of perceiving distant or unseen targets, a phenomenon known as remote viewing, has a history as rich and diverse as humanity itself. Throughout the ages, in every corner of the globe, there have been tales of individuals who could see beyond the confines of their physical location. In the ancient cultures of the East, sages and mystics were believed to possess an inner eye, a spiritual insight that allowed them to transcend the barriers of space and time. These visionaries were revered, their foresights often shaping the course of entire civilizations. Similarly, in the indigenous tribes of the Americas, the shamans were said to embark on spiritual journeys, traveling vast distances in the blink of an eye. They would return with knowledge and insights, guiding their tribes through times of famine, conflict, and change. In Europe, during the Middle Ages, the concept of remote viewing was cloaked in the enigmatic practices of the alchemists and the seers. They sought to unlock the secrets of the cosmos, to peer into the fabric of reality itself. Yet, it was not until the 20th century that the phenomenon of remote viewing began to be studied with scientific rigor. It was during the height of the Cold War, an era of espionage and secrecy, that the modern understanding of remote viewing started to take shape. Researchers began to explore the potential of the human mind, to see if these ancient tales held any truth, to see if it was indeed possible for individuals to perceive information blocked from ordinary perception. And so, the seed was sown for a new chapter in the story of remote viewing, a chapter that would take this ancient practice from the realm of the mystical and spiritual, and place it under the lens of science and rigorous investigation. But the modern understanding of remote viewing took shape in the 20th century, during the height of the Cold War. As the Cold War intensified, so did the race for supremacy, not just in arms and space, but also in the realms of the mind. In the midst of the ideological battle between the United States and the Soviet Union, a peculiar form of warfare began to emerge, a psychological one. The US government, intrigued by the potential of psychic phenomena, delved into the world of remote viewing, an extrasensory method of gathering intelligence. In the late 1970s, the US intelligence community launched a top-secret initiative known as the Stargate Project. This was not your typical spy venture. Instead of deploying agents in the field, the Stargate Project called upon individuals with purported psychic abilities. The goal? To harness these abilities for remote viewing, a technique allowing one to perceive locations, objects or people far beyond the reach of the normal senses. The program was ambitious, to say the least. Imagine being able to spy on enemy bases, discover hidden weaponry, or even predict future events without ever leaving your office. The possibilities were tantalizing, and the US government was eager to explore them. But the road was not without bumps. Skeptics within the scientific community questioned the validity of the project, citing a lack of empirical evidence. Despite these criticisms, the Stargate project continued for nearly 2 decades, albeit shrouded in secrecy. The Stargate project was eventually declassified in 1995, exposing a fascinating chapter in the history of intelligence gathering. The program was officially terminated, with the government citing a lack of concrete results. Yet the project's termination did not signal the end of remote viewing. Quite the contrary. Though the Stargate project was eventually declassified and terminated, it left a lasting legacy in the field of remote viewing. It sparked a wave of interest among researchers and enthusiasts alike, who continue to explore this enigmatic phenomenon. Whether or not remote viewing will ever be fully understood or accepted remains to be seen, but its history, intertwined with the intrigue of the Cold War, is a story worth telling. Fast forward to today, and you'll find a resurgence of interest in remote viewing, both as a form of psychic phenomenon and a tool for personal development. Remote viewing is no longer confined to the covert operations of intelligence agencies. It has entered the mainstream, finding its place in a modern world that is increasingly open to the exploration of consciousness and the metaphysical. From the alleys of online forums to the halls of academic institutions, remote viewing is being studied, practiced, and refined. It's not uncommon to find workshops and courses dedicated to teaching the techniques of this fascinating discipline. The field has also seen the rise of several notable personalities. Take, for example, Russell Targ, a physicist who co-founded Stanford's remote viewing program in the 70s. Even in his 80s, Targ continues to advocate for the scientific study of psychic phenomena. Then there's Ingo Swann, a renowned psychic and artist whose work with the Stanford Research Institute helped to codify the remote viewing protocols used by many today. Even though Swann passed away in 2013, his influence on the field remains strong, with his writings and teachings continuing to guide new generations of remote viewers. Another figure of note is Paul H. Smith, a former military intelligence officer who served in the US Army's Stargate program. Smith has since dedicated his life to teaching remote viewing, founding the Remote Viewing Instructional Services, and authoring several books on the subject. And it's not just individuals. Organizations like the International Remote Viewing Association work towards promoting the ethical use and standardization of remote viewing, fostering a global community of practitioners and enthusiasts. Remote viewing is a vibrant field, characterized by a blend of scientific curiosity, spiritual exploration, and a desire for understanding the unknown. It continues to evolve, adapting to the needs and interests of a diverse range of practitioners. Whether for exploration, self-discovery, or simply curiosity, remote viewing continues to captivate minds worldwide. So, is remote viewing real? Can we really tap into the unseen and perceive the unperceivable? Now that's a question that has sparked intense debate and continues to do so. On one hand, skeptics argue that the concept falls into the realm of pseudoscience, lacking solid empirical evidence. They point to the fact that remote viewing hasn't been consistently replicated under the rigorous conditions of a controlled scientific experiment. Critics also often cite the file drawer effect, where studies yielding negative results are less likely to be published, thereby skewing the overall picture in favor of the phenomenon. On the flip side, proponents of remote viewing point to numerous studies and experiments that suggest its existence. For instance, the Stargate project, a government-funded program running from the 1970s to the mid-90s, sought to investigate the military and domestic applications of psychic phenomena, including remote viewing. Several experiments conducted during this project reportedly yielded positive results, with participants accurately describing distant locations and events. More recently, the work of scientists like Dr. Dean Radin, who has conducted extensive research in the field of parapsychology, has added fuel to the fire. Dr. Radin's experiments have suggested that human consciousness can indeed interact with the physical world in ways not yet fully understood by mainstream science. The intrigue of remote viewing lies not just in its potential capabilities, but also in the profound questions it raises about the nature of reality and the human mind. If remote viewing is real, it suggests that our perception is not limited by time or space, challenging our understanding of consciousness itself. While the debate rages on, one thing remains clear. The concept of remote viewing continues to captivate us. From scientists in the lab to everyday people seeking to explore the boundaries of human potential. It's a fascinating journey, one that promises to keep us questioning, exploring, and pushing the boundaries of what we believe to be possible. While the jury may still be out on the scientific validity of remote viewing, one thing is certain. It continues to intrigue us, challenging our understanding of reality and the capabilities of the human mind.